WhatsApp is used by over 2 billion people every month. And as a business, you want to tap into this channel. But manually replying to all of these conversations on WhatsApp just take a lot of time and cost a lot of money. And that's where WhatsApp automations come in. So in this video, I will show you how you can create your first WhatsApp automation. And by the end of this video, you will have a step-by-step blueprint to automate your messages on WhatsApp and grow your business as well. Let's dive in. So today we will be creating the WhatsApp automations for a Airbnb rental company. So let's say you are an Airbnb rental company and you have over 10 different apartments. Then people will come into your apartment and they will have questions, like simple questions like what's the Wi-Fi password, but also more difficult ones like can I extend my stay or can I leave my luggage? And we can basically automatically answer these questions. So for simple questions, we can just give them a direct answer. And for other questions, we can basically get some customer information and then connect them to a live chat agent. And by doing this, you can help your customers on their preferred channel, which is WhatsApp. And to make it even easier for them, what you can do is like at the front door of each apartment, you can just add a poster, and on that poster, you can just add, okay, do you have any question? Then scan a QR code. And when they scan the QR code, they can directly go to your WhatsApp bot. And this is great because they can get a direct answer to their question, and that actually improves the customer experience. So to create our WhatsApp automation, we will be using Manychat. And Manychat is my preferred platform for creating WhatsApp automations. And I've used this platform for almost 5 years already. And I use them because they're so easy to use. Like if you don't have any experience with automations, you can get started right away. They are Meta approved. So that means you can just use their platform without the risk of getting banned. And they are very cheap. They have a free plan, but their pro plan already starts at $15 a month. So to create your Manychat account, you can just go to chatamize.com/MC, and this will bring you directly to the Manychat website. And then here you can just click on Get Started and then click on WhatsApp. And then here you need to log in with your Facebook account. And once you have logged in, your Manychat account is created. And in the description, I have a discount code. So if you use my link and use my discount code, you will get 30 days of the pro plan for free. And once you have done that, I also have a separate video on how you can connect WhatsApp to Manychat. So after you have watched this video, I highly recommend going to that video as well. I already have an account, so I would just click here on sign in and then sign in with my Facebook account. Continue as Joran. So now I'm logged into Manychat, and then if I click on automation, then here I will first create a new folder so we can structure everything. So I would just call this Airbnb. Click on create. And the first thing that we will create is our welcome message. So basically whenever someone greets us, this is the message that we automatically send to them. So here we can click on new automation and we will just call this welcome message. And basically each flow in Manychat starts with a trigger and has one or multiple messages. So the trigger in this case is hey or hi or hello. When someone says that, then we're going to send them the welcome message. So what we can do here is we can choose for WhatsApp and then click on user sends a message, the text specific words in the message. And then we can say if the message contains hey or hi or hello or howdy, and you can add like multiple variations here, then we can automatically reply to that message. So here we can choose WhatsApp, and then here we can determine the message that we want to send. So I would just copy this from my second screen. And then we can say, hey, I'm Ari, the digital assistant of Airbnb company. I will try to answer your question. If I don't know the answer, I will connect you with someone on my team. I'll also change this a bit, so I think it looks better if you do it like this. And then we can say, what is your question about? And because we want to give buttons to them, like on WhatsApp, you can have a maximum of 3 buttons. And in this case, that's not enough. So if you want to use more than 3 buttons, I actually recommend to use a list message. So here, if you click on more, then you can click on list message. And then we can basically copy this stuff and then paste that over here. And then instead of having like a normal button, what this will do is you can have one button with C options. And when people click on that, that opens up a pop-up. And in that pop-up, you have like a lot of options you can choose from. And this is great because that's exactly what we're going to do here. So when people have questions, they basically have questions about 3 things. Like they have questions about the place that they're currently at. it could be that they have questions about the stay. So the stay is more like, can I extend my stay? Can I leave my luggage? Like that kind of information. And then lastly, we also have questions about the neighborhood. So it could be that they want to know, neighborhood. So it could be that they have questions about, okay, what are the best restaurants, or what are like the closest supermarkets, like stuff like that. That's what you can add over there. So you basically have like 3 separate sections, and then in each of these sections you can add buttons. So for example, for your place, we can add Wi-Fi password, and for house rules you can have another button, and then you have water from tap, because often people want to know whether they can drink the water from the tap. So that's basically the questions that people have about your place. And then you also have an option for your stay. So here people maybe want to extend their stay, or they want to have a late checkout, or they want to leave luggage. Like that's the stuff that they generally want to do, so you can automatically reply to those questions. And then basically lastly what we have is the neighborhood. So here we can say nice restaurants. So if people have questions about a good restaurant in the neighborhood, then they can basically choose that. Sometimes people need a taxi, so then they can just click here. And then lastly, we have the closest supermarkets. So if people want to have a supermarket that's close by, they can basically click on that. So basically, those are all the options that we have. And for many of those options, we can automatically reply to it. So Wi-Fi password, house rules, water from tap, these all have like default answers. But for extending the stay or having a late checkout or leaving the luggage, that's basically when we want to get some information from the customer and then connect them to an agent that can basically do the stuff for them and can check whether they can actually leave the luggage and have a late checkout. So that's basically the 2 types of questions that we have. So I will first create all of like the default answers. So for the Wi-Fi password, house rules, all of that stuff. And then I will move over to actually getting some information from the customer and then sending it over to a live chat agent. So let's start with the Wi-Fi password. So if they click on Wi-Fi password, then we can just choose for WhatsApp. And then we can say, you can find the Wi-Fi password on the flyer on the table. So what you can do in each one of your apartments, you can make sure that you have a flyer on your table where the Wi-Fi password is. If you can do that, you can just have one simple answer to this question. So that's basically for that one. Then we have the house rules. So the house rules in this case are also like the same for each one of these apartments. So you can basically say, just click the button below to get these house rules. And then when they click that button, that will actually go to a PDF with your house rules. So here you can say house rules. And when they click that button, then automatically this will open up a website. So in this case, I would just let it go to my website, but just know that you can let it go to Google Drive or anything like that. And then we have another option, which is if people want to drink water from the tap, then we can say this. I just copied this. So I say, in your apartment, it's safe to drink water from the tap. If you prefer to drink water from a bottle, please check one of the closest supermarkets. And that's also great. Like here in the welcome message, we have close supermarkets, but you can also connect these automations to each other. So in this case, you want to think about the next step that people want to have. Like they want to drink water, but maybe they rather want to drink it from a bottle. If you want to drink from a bottle, they need to go to a supermarket. So that's basically how you can structure that and basically connect them to each other. So here we can add a button which goes to closest supermarkets. And then here we can connect that to the automation that we have later on. So I would just connect that later on. So that's that. Then we have one for the nice restaurants. So the best restaurants in the neighborhood. So what we can do here is we can say, here's a map with the best restaurants in the neighborhood. And then add a button with best restaurants. And when people click that button, then that will go to Google Maps. So what you can do in Google Maps is you can basically create a map, and then in the map you can have multiple pins, and then each pin will be a restaurant. So if all the apartments are pretty close to each other, let's say in the same city or so, then you can basically say, okay, we recommend these restaurants and just provide them with 20 restaurants or so. So they can have an option to choose from, but they can also directly see which one is closest to their specific apartment. So by doing this, you can ensure that you can just automatically reply to this question, but also give a good customer experience. So in this case, I will just let it go to Google Maps, but just know how you can tackle these kinds of problems by just creating something that basically all of the apartments can use instead of making it specific for each apartment, because again, that will cost you a lot of time to implement and stuff. So here you can just click on done. So this is for the best restaurants. Then we have I need a taxi. So if people want to have a cab, basically, then we can say, no problem, you can just book a taxi with our preferred partner. Just click on the option below. I misspelled this. Just click on the button below. And then here you can just click on book taxi, and that will just go to a taxi cab in the neighborhood. So I'll just go to taxi.com. But yeah, almost always you have like a taxi company that you prefer, like basically let them go to that one. If they also have something like an affiliate program or so, you can get commission on that, that would be even better as well. So you can also make a little bit of money on this, right? So that's like for the taxi. And then lastly, we have closest supermarkets. So with the closest supermarket, I would basically do the same thing as with the restaurant. Just create a Google map with a lot of supermarkets there, and then you can basically help them. And often it's always good to like say, okay, these are my preferred supermarkets, because like you're local, like you know what you do in the neighborhood. So then here, closest supermarkets, and this will open up a website. Again, this will be a Google Maps. And then click on done. And again, we can connect this. So here, the waterfront tab automation, we can basically connect that to closest supermarkets right here. So that's basically that. But what you also want to do here is you want to ensure that people have, that you basically answer the question. Because it could be that you give an answer that they're basically not looking for. So in that case, you basically want to get some information from them and then connect them to an agent as well. So we'll create another automation for this to like keep it a bit structured. And I'll just call this answer to question. So whenever we answer the question, what we basically want to do is ask, okay, does this actually answer your question, right? So what we can do here, click on WhatsApp, and then we can say, does this answer your question? Just click on one of the buttons below. And then here you can say, yes, it does, or no, I need help. When they choose for yes, it does, then you can say, okay, awesome. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them here. Any other questions, feel free to ask them here. And if they say, no, I need help, then we basically want to ask some information from them. So here, what you want to do is you want to say, no problem, we can connect you with someone on the team. To do that, we need some information. And then here, what you basically want to do is you basically want to ask the question that they have, and you want to ask their email. So you have some basic information on them. So the first thing that we will do is we will actually check whether we already know their email, because if we already know their email, then we don't need to ask it again. And it could be that people have multiple questions during one stay. So if that happens, then we basically just ask their email once and that's done. So what you can do here is you can check whether we already know someone's email. So you can just click here on email. And then if the email is unknown, that's when we're going to ask the email. So here you can use data collection, and then you can say, what is your email? Just type in your email below and then add an emoji. And then here the contact reply should be email. And you need to make sure that you actually remove the skip button text so people cannot skip this question. And then once they answered what is your email, then we can just ask another question with what question do you actually have for us. So here I just copied this from a second screen. And we can just say, what question do you have for us? Please type in your question below. And then we can save this to a custom field in Manychat. So you can just call this Airbnb question. Add that over here. And then basically when they answer this question, then it will be saved to this custom field. So also make sure that you, the other option of the condition, that you add that as well. So if we already know their email, then we just say, okay, what question do you have for us? And then the next step is to actually connect them to one of the agents. So in order to do that, we can just add another message with, we will now connect you with one of our, oh, what was that? Never got that before. We will now connect you with one of our agents. And then what we can do is we can add an action. So with actions, you can basically send a notification to the agents. And if you're not familiar with using actions in Manychat, I also have a WhatsApp beginner course on my website. So if you want to get more familiar with Manychat, please check out the link in the description. So what we can do over here is we can just add an action. And then here, the first thing that you want to do is you want to mark the conversation as open. So in Manychat, you have two types of conversations. You have closed conversations, open conversations. Closed conversations are handled by your automations. Open conversations are handled by your team or by your live chat agents. So in this case, you want to mark the conversation as open so someone on the team can basically take it over. So that's what we do over here. Then we want to assign this conversation to someone. So again, click on live chat and then click on assign conversation. So you can assign it to a specific person or to a group. So in this case, I will assign it to myself. And then lastly, we also want to notify the person that's assigned. So here we can just notify anyone that is in your Manychat account. So once this is done, you can basically just click on set live and then that's working. And if we go back to our welcome message, basically each time we send an answer, we can basically say, okay, does this answer your question? So we can connect this automation to this automation. So in order to do that, you can just click there, click on start automation, and then go to Airbnb and click on answer to question. And then we can basically connect each default answer that we have. So the next step, this is basically, I think, what happened just now. Sometimes it's like too close or anything with these Manychat things. So yeah, that's working. So you basically need to connect each next step to the start automation here, right? So basically now what we do is every time someone chooses from one of these options, then we automatically reply to that question and then we say, okay, does this actually answer your question? But we also have another option, and this is when people want to extend their stay, do a late checkout, or leave their luggage. So in that case, what you actually want to do is you want to get more information about what they want to do, you want to get their email, and then you want to connect them to one of your agents. And that's basically what we're going to do. So the first thing what we will do is we will write down what type of request they have. So if they choose for extend stay, we're going to create a custom field in Manychat that has that information. So here you can basically click on actions and then click here on contact data and then set user field. And then we'll create a new user field, which is called Airbnb request. And this will be just text. Click on create. And here we will set it to extend stay. So in this case, people want to extend their stay, but we will also create one for late checkout and leave luggage. So you can basically just duplicate this 3 times. And then you have here one for, what's the second one? It's late checkout. So we will set this to late checkout. And then we have leave luggage. So those are basically the 3 options that people have, right? So then when that happens, you basically want more information about what they basically want to do. Because if they want to extend their stay, you want to know, okay, until what time? And if they want to have a late checkout, then you want to know, okay, until what time? That's the information that you need in order to fulfill their request. So in order to do that, we can just ask them another question. So here we can just click on data collection again. And then in the case of extending the stay, then we can say, got it, to what day would you like to extend your stay? And then we can save this as a new custom field. So this will be Airbnb request more info. And then they can just answer that question. And we can basically create similar questions for the other options. So here we have late checkout. And then with late checkout, we can say, got it. At what time would you like to check out? And that will go to like the same custom field. And then for the leave luggage, then the additional question is, okay, got it. At what time do you want to leave your luggage? So that's basically what you ask to them. Once they answer these questions, then we basically say, okay, thank you. What is your email? And then we just got all the information that we basically need from them. So the next thing here is, again, the data collection. And then we have what is your email. But before I'm going to do that, I just remember we already did this. So instead of creating it again, we can also copy it from what we already had. So here we already have that email part. So you can basically copy this and then Command C on a Mac or Control C on Windows. And then basically paste that over here. So if we don't know the email, then we ask for the email, right? So that's what we do over here. And then we ask, okay, what is your email? Just type in your email below. And once we get that, then we say, thank you. we have notified our agent, someone will be with you as soon as possible. And then again, we need to connect them to one of the agents. So we can just copy this from the other automation that we created before, paste it over here, and then that is working. So now you see that each one of these things is connected to an automation. So for like the default questions, we just give a default answer. And for extending the stay and late checkout and leave luggage, we basically ask, okay, additional information, and then we ask their email, and that's basically it. Then there are two things that we also can do is we need to connect this one. So that's all working. And we can also personalize this notification, because here the agent basically wants to know, okay, what do they want to do, right? So here you can adjust the notification tag. So here you can say full name has a request. And then you have here the request. And then you can just type in the brackets. And then here you can just do Airbnb request. So this will basically contain information about leaving the luggage or like having a late checkout. And then you have more info, and that has the more information that they provided. So at what time they want to check out or at what date they want to leave, like that information. And that's basically it. So now this is all connected, it's all working, and you can basically just click on set live, and then it is working. Then also make sure that you enable this welcome message. So that should be working correctly. Then there's just one additional thing that you need to create, and that is the default reply. So the default reply in Manychat is basically when you don't trigger any of the other automations, then your default reply will trigger. And this is basically when someone has a question and your chatbot cannot answer that question. That's basically when you can use the default reply. So that's the last thing that we set up. So what we can do here is you can create a new flow called default reply. And then we can say, sorry, but I don't know the answer to a question. Oh, answer to your question. Do you want to be connected to an agent? And then they say, yes, please. Or we say, no, not needed. When they say no, not needed, then we say, okay, no problem. And if they say that they want to be connected to an agent, what we actually want to do is we want to get their information and then connect them to an agent. And that's basically what we already did before. So again, we can just copy that. So here we can say, we can just copy this whole part from the answer to question flow. Oh, yeah, sometimes Manychat is not copying this correctly. So now I'm going to try this a million times. Yes, and now it works. So sometimes you need to redo that a couple of times. And then, oh, and by the way, if you don't know how I did this, you can just basically hit shift and then you can connect all of these blocks, like just so you know. But if someone says yes, please, then we say no problem. We can connect you with someone on the team. Then we ask their email, ask the question, and then we can connect them with someone on the team. So that's basically how that works. We can click on set it live. And now I will just show you how this works on WhatsApp. So now I'm on WhatsApp, and then if I type in hey, then it says, hey, I'm Ari, the digital assistant of Airbnb company. What is your question about? So then you can click on see options, and then here you have like the complete pop-up. So here I can just choose for Wi-Fi password. Then it says you can find the Wi-Fi password in the flyer on the table. Does this answer your question? Then if I can just type in yes, it does. Then it says awesome. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them here. And if you click on see options again, then we can choose for example, for extend the stay. And it says, got it. To what day would you like to extend your stay? So next Tuesday. And it says, what is your email? So I just type in my email. And it says, thank you. We have notified our agent. Someone will be with you as soon as possible. And then someone on the live chat can then take over. So if you go to the live chat, then here you can basically take this over, pass the automation, and basically solve the question that they have. And that's basically it. That's how you can create your first WhatsApp automation with Manychat. But creating your WhatsApp automation is actually the first step, because you can also use WhatsApp as a marketing and sales channel. So if you want to get more familiar with this and actually send out WhatsApp broadcasts to your leads and customers, please check out this video.